ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So Jai Gurudev. No, we finished the Sadhana Panchakam yesterday. We did the last verse. So we have an option of going back to Bhagavad Gita today, or to just wrap up again the Sadhana Panchakam and do Manana before, and do a little bit of revision of Tattva Bodh and then go back to Bhagavad Gita. So let me know what we want to do. Accordingly, we'll go ahead.
I think Sadhana Panchakam and Tattva Bodha with meaning only, shloka and meaning, and then we can move forward to the Bhagavad Gita if everyone likes.
Okay, let's do that. One second. Huh? So I'll play the Sadhana Panchakam.
We need to apologize to everyone who has ever bought the Natural Healing Handbook from us, because we love
वेदो नित्यमधीयतां तदुदितं कर्म स्वनुष्ठीयताम् तेनेशस्य विधीयतामपचितिः काम्ये मतिस्त्यज्यताम् पापौघः परिधूयतां भवसुखे दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम् आत्मेच्छाव्यवसीयतां निजगृहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम् सङ्गः
सुविधीयतां भगवतो भक्तिर्दृढाधीयताम् शान्त्यादिः परिचीयतां दृढतरं कर्माशु सन्त्यज्यताम् सद्विद्वान्नुपसृप्यतां प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यताम् ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यतां श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम् वाक्यार्थश्च विचार्यतां श्रुतिशिरः पक्षः समाश्रीयताम् दुस्तर्कात् सुविरम्यतां श्रुतिमतस्तर्कोऽनुसन्धीयताम् ब्रह्मास्मीति विभाव्यतामहरहर्गर्वः परित्यज्यताम् देहेऽहं मतिरुज्यतां बुधजनैर्वादः परित्यज्यताम् क्षुद्व्याधिश्च चिकित्स्यतां प्रतिदिनं भिक्षौषधं भुज्यताम् स्वाद्वन्नं न तु याच्यतां विधिवशात् प्राप्तेन सन्तुष्यताम् शीतोष्णादिविषह्यतां न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम् औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपानैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम् एकान्ते सुखमास्यतां परतरे चेतः समाधीयताम् पूर्णात्मा सुसमीक्ष्यतां जगदिदं तद्बाधितं दृश्यताम् प्राक्कर्म प्रविलाप्यतां चितिबलान्नाप्युत्तरैश्लिष्यताम् प्रारब्धं त्विह भुज्यतामथ परब्रह्मात्मना स्थीयताम्
So today, as we read each of the 40 steps, 40 40 guidelines, let's each share what we've understood, and then we'll move forward. We'll wrap up all the 40 points today, and time permitting, we can touch upon a little bit of Tattva Bodh as and when required. So, Vedo Nityamadhiyatam Taduditam Karma Swanushtiyatam. So, studying the Vedas daily. Reason why we need to study the Vedas daily? Is so that we stay on track, right? Stay on track with what is the purpose of our life. Perform diligently duties ordained by the Vedas. all the 5 different karmas that were enunciated. Nitya, Naimitika, Kamya, Nishiddha and Prayaschitta karma. And amongst the Nitya karmas, you have different yajnas, 5 different yajnas. Brahma yajna, Manushya yajna, Bhuta yajna. And what is the purpose of doing this Nitya karma? Nitya karma is all aligned with dharma, right? So when we do this, we are at least not engaging in doing things which are otherwise not conducive for our path, for the path. And how do we do these duties? We do them as an act of worship to the Lord. So then what you're doing is moving away from self-centered activity towards an act of devotion. And therefore, the next step is let the desire prompted activities be given up. Rather than desire based living, need based living. Because what is the fallacy of following desires? They are a sure way of setting up more and more vasanas, the tendencies towards. We will start accruing more and more tendencies. And these tendencies are what bind us to the samsara. So therefore, give up desire-based actions. And when you do that, the multitude of sins be uprooted. So then, therefore, the vasanas will slowly start getting eliminated. Reflect upon everybody also share. If you please unmute and share whenever you wish to. Reflect upon the inherent limitations of worldly pleasures. So here comes Viveka. So when you look at how every worldly pleasure, what does it come with? It comes with 3 things. One is pain, dissatisfaction, and attachment. So understand that everything out there in the world comes with these 3 tags, 3 tails. And therefore, move away from going outwardly towards the self. Entertain desire for knowing the self. As soon as desire for self-knowledge arises, leave the house or bondage quickly. So we have Viveka coming up and also Vairagya. So you live your life as a householder with that detachment, inner detachment. Do whatever you have to do to the best of your ability. But with that sense of detachment. Anyone wants to add anything to these 8 steps here before we move to the next verse? I'm not able to hear, right? Yeah. Okay. So then when self-knowledge arises, what do you do next? Is this a path that you can walk alone, tread alone? Seek the company of wise men. Seek a guru. Cultivate steady devotion to the Lord. Otherwise, your ego will start boosting up. Therefore, direct everything, develop bhakti. On this path, we require both. We require jnana as well as bhakti. So from the wise person, from a guru, you get knowledge, you learn knowledge, and then also cultivate bhakti, devotion to the Lord. Cultivate qualities such as shama, dhamma, which are all the pillars for the knowledge. These are all the struts that will help us withdraw ourselves, like how a turtle withdraws itself, its limbs. So shama, dhamma, uparama, titiksha, shraddha, samadhana. So quickly give up for good desire prompted actions. Again, it's a repeat of what happened in the first verse. Approach a wise man who is capable of unfolding the truth of Vedanta. So rather than follow anybody, the guru is one who is a Shrotriya and Brahmanishta, and serve the sandals, padukas of the teacher daily. So follow his words, emulate them. Ask the teacher to unfold knowledge of Brahman, that is one, that is beyond destruction. So if we go to the Guru, it is not to satisfy our little wants and needs. No. Seek the highest truth. Because ultimately that highest truth is unfolded only with grace. So that is what we need to seek. Listen properly to the Mahavakyas of the Upanishads. So what are the 4 Mahavakyas? There are several Mahavakyas. Of them, 4 are prominent. One is Prajnanam Brahma. Consciousness is Brahman. Then Tattvamasi, that thou art. And Ayamatma Brahma. This self is Brahman. And then the roar of realization is Aham Brahmasmi. So how does contemplation of these 4 Mahavakyas help us? The mind space, the mind is it's so chanchal, it cannot stay quiet. It has to catch on to something. So rather than the mind catching on to something external, withdraw it. Exercise that pratyahara. Be joyous from within. And then attach it to thoughts of the higher. Otherwise, what will happen to the mind? It will again find its path outwardly. Bahirmukha. Rather than that, bring it antarmukha. So therefore, we have these words of the Mahavakyas of the Upanishads to contemplate upon. And verse 3, anyone wants to share or add on to this? Okay. And then you analyze the meanings of the Mahavakyas. It's not enough if you just read them by rote. We need to understand them. Analyze the meaning. Like in our Nirvana Shatakam, Mano Buddhya Hankara Chitta Ninaham. You understand? It's through very beautiful logic that they actually come down to the fact that the self alone is Satya. Everything else is Mithya. Everything else is fleeting. Anything that is changing is not permanent. So with this wisdom, with this viveka, analyze the words of the Mahavakyas. Follow the lines of arguments of the Shruti So this is how Shruti is talking about, right? How in Tattva Bodh we learned how the creation of the whole universe. Brahma, Shreya, Maya, then Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, Gunatmika, Maya. So Maya is the element that is brought in by the Vedanta, in Vedanta to explain the creation of the world. So understand that is the line of Shruti, how the from Maya, which has got all the three qualities, how the Pancha Mahabhutas arise, and how each of the Pancha Mahabhutas has its own Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas, and how from Sattva aspect what comes, Rajas aspect what. So this is all the line of the Shruti that is giving us. This is the basis and the foundation. So align yourself to this and refrain from distorted reasoning opposed to the vision of scriptures. So very often when we are learning, sometimes there may be some very crazy questions, ideas coming up. But be aware of that. Something that will take you away from the line of the scriptures is what we have to be mindful of. Otherwise, our mind will get caught up, and that can lead to probably an element of distrust in what we're learning. But Shraddha is such an important aspect of on this path. So therefore, have that Guru Vedanta Vakyadisha Vishwasaha Shraddha. Have that faith and refrain from having distorted reasoning. Sometimes the intellect would want to come up and say, oh, I know this. Maybe it is like that. No. Follow the arguments of the Shruti. Then resort to the reasoning in keeping with the vision of the Shruti. That is why the Gurudev says several times it's important for you to follow the Sampradaya. And we've said this before several times. We're following the Advaita Sampradaya. Therefore, follow that Sampradaya. Not that all other paths are not right, because they may just misguide you. There's so much of information out there. So you might just get misled. Therefore, keep to the resort of the reasoning and keeping with the vision of the Shruti. Entertain constantly the thought, I am Brahman. So the whole mind space is you are attaching yourself to that, to the highest, and that is the truth. Otherwise, again, the mind will get caught up with all and sundry and all the mundane things. So are we able to, throughout our waking time, are we able to live consciously, connected to the self within, centered? And what will happen when we work like this? It will help us be equanimous when we're faced with pairs of opposites. And give up pride at all times. So important. It can lead to unknowingly this spiritual ego comes in, and then you can be very vain and say, oh, I know this all, I know it all. So give up pride at all times. Give up the identification from the body. Avoid arguments with the wise man. So rather than arguing with them, we should try and understand what is the import, what is the knowledge that is coming up, and go back, reflect, and contemplate upon it. Which is what happened in all the Upanishads. That is how it is. It's a question answer between the teacher and the student. And in Taittiriya Upanishad, when the student keeps coming back to the teacher and he says, the teacher tells him, go and find what is Brahman. The first time the student comes back and says, Annam Brahmeti Vyajanat. He says, Annam is Brahma. He says, no, go back, contemplate again. He comes back and says, Pranam Brahmi. This prana is Brahma. And then he goes on. And finally, when he actually realizes, Anandam Brahmeti Vyajanat, and he doesn't come back because he revels in that Ananda. So he doesn't question the teacher. He says, oh, I think this is what it is. With that faith, he goes back and contemplates again. So with that humility and not being pride and not being vain and boastful of, oh, I know this knowledge, I know this. Being humble. It's all because of His grace that we're getting this. Right? So being in that state of humility, giving up the identification from the body, mind, and intellect. It includes also the ego. And then verse 4 is, may you treat the disease of hunger. So this is something that we are born with, and it's a chronic disease. Hunger is a disease because unless you satisfy it, you're not rested, right? And the moment you satisfy your hunger, there is that satiation, the satisfaction. And this is right from the birth till the death. All beings go through this disease of hunger. So, may you treat the disease of hunger. How do we treat it? With food taken as medicine. Daily take the medicine of food obtained as bhiksha. That is for sannyasis. For householders, may you not crave or ask for tasty food. So rather than go with your raga and dvesha, oh, I like this food, so I want this. I don't like this food, I won't eat it. Take food as medicine. May you be content with what is obtained as a result of prarabdha. Food can be quite binding when, supposing there is too much food, too much salt, too much spice. Take it as it comes. Take it with that gratitude rather than complain about food. May you be content with what is obtained as a result of prarabdha.
And in the food, it is said when you are treating hunger, it should be treated as other diseases. Means when other diseases are, we are taking care of it. So when the hunger is there, we have to treat like other diseases. Means we have to take care how much we need and how, from where and how.
Correct. That is why it is said a yogi is one who eats once a day. A bhogi is one who eats twice a day. And one who eats more than twice a day is a rogi. And that is what we are experiencing now. We are what we eat. We do not know what goes on. Most often, we follow our likes and dislikes with respect to food. If we watch keenly. So therefore, staying on a sattvic diet and eating whatever comes onto the table. I mean, simplifying your diet. You of course have to eat a nutritious diet and take care of your health and take care of the body. That goes without saying. So treat this body as an equipment, as an instrument on this path. Unless the body is healthy, we cannot. Vyadhi is one of the obstacles for yoga, right? So you of course have to take care of the body. Take enough care, and not be too over consumed by taking care of the body. How much is required? Yes, take care of that much, and not become hypochondriac. May you endure all pairs of opposites, heat and cold. Because the whole world is nothing but pairs of opposites. So when the pairs of opposites are inevitable, rather than get tossed and turned over, rather than get feeling very elated when something conducive happens, or getting depressed when something non-conducive happens, maintain and endure that matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agama paino nityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. This has been said in all the things that we've learned so far. Titiksha, endure the pairs of opposites. And what is the benefit when we endure these pairs of opposites? Your mind is in a steady state. It's in a balanced state. And then the previous thing, may you be content with what is obtained as a result of prarabdha. So probably your prarabdha will govern what kind of experiences you go through. So if you're going through some tough challenge, rather than feel very depressed, take it in your stride with that courage and say, I will take it with a smile.
That will be a titiksha.
Yeah. Prarabdham bhogena nashtam bhavat. This is what we learned in Tattva Bodh, right? So it is only by experiencing that prarabdha will get exhausted. And there is no two things. We have to go through it because we have put our blueprint ourselves. We have done it ourselves. So what we get from life is Lord's gift to us. How we take it is our gift to Him. So that how we take challenging situations, how we take difficult situations, how we take happy situations. Are we going to be so elated that we go overboard and lose our balance? Or do we take it as prasada and maintain that happiness in the mind, that pleasing mind, prasada, prasanna chetasa. That is, it doesn't get tossed and turned over, not a yo-yo. It's pleasant throughout. Like how all the enlightened masters were, right? They were going through so much of pain, but it didn't show. It didn't show that they were suffering from that pain. They endured probably. They didn't even notice the pain, or it didn't affect them. So pain is inevitable. That is what Gurudev keeps saying. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So when we endure all pairs of opposites, that suffering aspect we are taking care of. We're not suffering. We are taking it with that equanimity. And avoid speech that is unnecessary. So why should we avoid speech that is unnecessary? Because it is that through speech that we get into trouble. So mitabhashi, such an important aspect of our sadhana. Otherwise, I think yesterday we read, no? What are the 4 things that people usually talk when they meet? Women,
Wealth,
wealth,
woman.
Women, wealth, power, and what was the fourth one?
Enemy.
Huh? Enemies.
Enemy. Yeah.
Women, wealth, power, and enemies.
Is it power or rush?
Power, avoid wasteful.
Achievements.
Women, wealth,
Achievement.
pleasures, and enemies.
Okay.
Idle talks are generally on four main topics:
Mm-hmm.
women, wealth, pleasure, and enemies.
Yeah, pleasure. Yeah.
So, to be carried away by these topics is to be distracted from the spiritual path, to derail on our journey. Therefore, avoid such wasteful talks. Let our talks be upon spiritual topics. The sorrows of the world of plurality, the lot of the ego, the ways of liberation, the means of self-control, the beauties of life divine, and the glories of men of realization. Just imagine if this were our talk, our conversation with people around us, how aligned it would be towards, how conducive it would be towards. That is why in the 6th chapter, when Arjuna asks if a person dies without realizing himself, what will happen? Yoga Bhrashta. What happens to this Yoga Bhrashta? And Krishna says, all is sadhana, it will not go in vain. It will not be wasted. He will be born in a conducive atmosphere. See, being in a conducive atmosphere is so important for to support the growth spiritually. So that conducive atmosphere is a family where there are like-minded people. Now, not to put down any of our family members if they're not aligned. Again, that is part of our prarabdha. So we would have to go through that with that smile, with that sense of dignity. So, but having faith
Sorry,
that...
I missed that point, Dr. Brahma. Can you say that again? About family members.
We might have family members who are not aligned. So it is not to denounce them.
Right.
It is you would not look down upon them. No. It is just that our prarabdha is that we are born and we are associated with them. So take that as prarabdha. And from our side, we will have to stay steadfast, be antarmukhi, and be a role model. Rather than...
So the family member not aligned, meaning like not doing
They are
us.
not spiritual or say like-minded.
They are also not like-minded, for instance.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
Because here it is mentioned, no, avoid wasteful talks, talk
Oh,
about yourself. Now, you may not have a spouse or partner or family members who are like this. They each have their own journey, right?
Yeah, I mean, like as you said, their prarabdha is different from ours.
Correct.
So even though it's a close partner, I have in our house also it's like that only. So
correct.
We have different interests, but at least we don't interfere into much of that. We like to
That
be.
because of the family karma, we have to go through that also. That is also prarabdha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, that is why the next point is so beautiful. Maintain an attitude of happy indifference to small problems and
No, but
anxieties in
before
life.
that, it is said, what should we talk then about with the like-minded people? Nature of reality. That 3 points.
Oh yeah, that the 4 points what we are supposed to talk, what we should avoid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So then, supposing you are in a place where you're not having this like-minded people, conducive environment, then maintain an attitude of happy indifference to small problems and anxieties in life. So just be indifferent. Have that mental indifference. Not that you show indifference by way of your behavior, but it is like Jnani is alone. That there is one verse which says he is asleep when everybody else is
Yeah.
and he is
When you're awake and he's
awake
awake
when
when
everyone
everybody's sleeping.
is
Yeah.
asleep. Right.
Mhm.
So that bringing up that within us. So being indifferent to small problems and anxieties of life. Overlook, do not be concerned about public sympathy and censure.
Mm.
Because otherwise, what will happen? You're only feeding the ego. Ego is what gets affected when you're either praised or humiliated, when you're put under censure. So, this is to eliminate, subdue, sublimate the ego. So, overlook, be indifferent to that as well.
I
Then,
think
main.
ego plays a big role all the time, right?
Huh?
Ego plays, it takes
Of
over.
course.
So, despite you trying to work with it, it just pops out.
It's a 1,000-headed snake, the ego. One you
Yeah,
put down, another way it'll come up.
exactly. You rightly said that thousand-headed snake. Oh my God. Uh, yeah, true.
All in mythology and all that, when these demons, they have this power saying if one head is cut off, that Rakta Bijasura, I think in Devi Bhagavatam, when
Mm,
even one drop of blood falls on the ground,
yeah,
then
yeah.
again he will spring back.
Oh,
So all that is indicative of, I mean, that is the literal meaning, but the implied meaning is the ego. So
yeah.
it
Yeah,
keeps coming
it
back.
just comes out quickly,
Yeah.
It's you won't believe how your body doesn't act that big
Mm,
sometimes, but this ego comes out very quickly. Ah, Then you said, "Oh, you step back,"
mm.
like that.
So again, we don't need to be averse to ego. What Gurudev beautifully says is,
Mm,
you don't need to even saying, oh, got out of ego. He says is another ego, is a super ego there. So, oh, I got out of, what do you mean I got out of ego? Ego is part of you. So he
yeah,
says you keep your ego where it has to belong, like you keep it in your pocket.
right.
Don't let it get into your head. Without
Yeah,
the ego, we can't even function. We can't get up and do anything. That I sense is required for us to function in the world. But be aware of it, be a witness to it, be witness to all its antics. It
mm,
is, it jumps up and down when someone, you know, praises you, it goes up, you feel so elated.
yeah. That happens, right? Like,
Maintaining that sense of detachment from it.
mhm.
The the
I think
two
the more and more the sadhana is the one will bring it down. Hopefully, I think this ego part.
of course,
Yeah.
all of this is what creates that space between
Mm,
thought and I. You're able to see, oh, this is happening. That is why Gurudev says people
mm,
on the path actually they go through a lot of pain because they're aware of all that is happening.
mm,
Person who is jada, who is like very gross, who's not onto this path and is not done any practices, is not
mm,
even aware of what's going on in his head.
mm,
Just living life like from the spinal level, very reactive, very reflexive.
mm,
He's very animalistic kind of.
mm,
But the more and more you refine yourself, you're practicing, you're aware of what is going on in the upper story, it actually is painful because you're
mm.
aware of everything there.
Yeah.
It's challenging, but then that's the beauty of being aware. And it's not just being aware. Therefore, this knowledge is required to support, saying, oh, all of this pain is nothing but part of the world, part of the samsara. What is your true nature? Your true nature is Sat Chit Ananda. So don't get caught up in the entanglements of the samsara. This is what you are. That is what the Mahavakyas are saying. They're proclaiming with so much of power and strength and uh, conviction.
I
Tattvam.
am Brahman.
What is that shloka? Abhyasena tu Kaunteya. That one shloka is there. See, you will with the Swadhyaya and
Kaunteya vairagyena cha durvidham. I think that is in the 6th chapter, no? When Krishna is asked, Arjuna asks, Chanchalam hi manang
Madhavritti.
So how do I? Then he says, Abhyasena tu Kaunteya vairagyena cha dushkritam. So this difficult mind you can hold by Abhyasa and Vairagya. And then, so you be indifferent to small problems, anxieties in life and overlook. Do not be concerned about public sympathy and censure. Again, you will get caught up in the world of Maya. That is, refuse to come too much under the obligation of the other. This may chain you down in an emotional entanglement and compel you even to compromise with your own way of life. That is the danger. See that in life you give to the world more than you take, or more than what others give to you in life. So you reduce your wants, your needs, increase your responsibility. This is what we learn, right, in the happiness program. More responsibility, more empowered you are. Less needs you have, more happy you are. So you give to the world, give to people more than what you get from them.
Yeah, it was put in the, I think, that Swami Chinmayananda said, I mean, the world indebted to you,
Yeah.
not the you
Make the world indebted to you, not you getting indebted to the world.
indebted to the world. Yeah.
Because the debtor is always a slave.
So
The creditor is the Lord, the master in any community. So you come from the space of giving.
Yeah.
Not be a beggar asking, what
Right.
about me? What will I get?
Mm.
I want this. I want this. Stop being that. Be a giver.
Be a giver. Right.
Rather than beggar, be a giver. Be generous. Right. So may you sit in a comfortable, and then how do we take this forward after you have cleared up all the muck in your head? You've cleared up all the, you've endured the opposites. You have taken care of people outside. You're not worried about you've gotten rid of your pride, all that, and that inner cleansing has happened. Sit in a comfortable posture, quietly in solitude. Not just physical solitude, but mentally. Stay centered. May the mind abide in Brahman. Then contemplate on the Brahman. May you see the self, I, the fullness clearly. See the world as unreal, devoid of reality, in absence of the fullness that you are. So, for all this requires meditation, practices. Resolve the Sanchita karma in knowledge. So, it's only through knowledge that the seed of Sanchita karma can be roasted. With a proper attitude, remain unattached to new karma. So, this is also very important, right? Otherwise, you will accrue more karma. More karma means more bondage. More bondage is more births. So remain unattached to new karma. What is the attitude? We have the attitude of karma yoga, right? So, Ishwararpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. And when you are doing things with a sense of non-doership, this is an offering to the divine, and whatever I get as a result is prasada. And with that attitude, you're not attaching to new karma. Otherwise, your agami will keep increasing. Happily go through the experiences of prarabdha karma, because we should not fight it out. So many people want to fight out their prarabdha karma. You just have to go through it. With these practices, yes, you develop that inner stability, inner calm, and that grace comes in when instead of hitting your head, it'll hit the crown or hit the cap, whatever. But then that hitting is prarabdha. But how you take it and how it gets kind of diluted, it doesn't affect you so much, is again based on your attitude. Happily go through the experiences of prarabdha karma. After the fall of the body, abide in Brahman, the limitless. So, and then that is it. Through wisdom, become detached from future karmas. Thereafter, live absorbed in the bhava, I am Brahman. Such a Sikh, I'm reading from Swami Chinmayananda's notes, such a seeker who's realized that the self within himself is the one self expressing as all forms and names, and that the same self is the one enlivening spark of life manifesting through all forms, is fully awakened to the infinite state divine, and so has reached his immutable goal. That you were asking about immutable, right? Immutable is something that cannot be mutilated, something that cannot be destroyed. That's a non-destructive goal, indestructible goal. Having reached the state of awakening, it being changeless and infinite, timeless and undecaying, the sadhaka gets established permanently in this experience transcendental. His earlier state of limited, sorrowful existence as an ego has ended forever. He lives absorbed in the supreme consciousness. His individualized ego sense has merged. Just as a river ends itself when it merges with the ocean, just as a hailstone dissolves away to become the oceans around the world, the delusory I ends, Brahman alone is. I am Brahman is the one bhava that comes to govern thereafter in all his actions, feelings, and thoughts. It is not a slogan to prattle about, not a vanity to be screamed in the world. It is not a creed accepted, but an attitude natural, ever echoing through all his performances in the world. So these 5 verses enumerated some 8 programs in each verse, and in their totality, these 40 instructions become the quintessence of a Vedantic student sadhana program. So let's keep this as our roadmap and our guidelines. We've come to the end today. So starting tomorrow, we can go back to Bhagavad Gita. Like I said, I think some of us, I would not be there, but whoever is able to take the lead, please go ahead and continue the manana, continue the continue the reading.
Yeah, that do we know which sloka we are
We
supposed
stopped
to
at 16 or 17 of chapter
Okay.
2.
Chapter 2. Okay.
That is where we stopped. Yeah.
This week we have the schedule, I think. But you'll be gone by the end of this
Yeah.
week, right?
I
Thursday
know
or
I'm traveling tomorrow.
tomorrow. Oh,
So from day after, I will not be there. Tomorrow I'll be there.
okay.
From day after till the 2nd, I will not be there. But within us, whoever is available can put up the schedule and continue the reading. Yeah.
Sure.
I just taking a show of hands. How many of us here are not
That's why
going
I
to be
wanted
available?
to find out, I heard that question also. How many are going to be
Yeah.
here?
So how
I am
many of us
here.
here? We are 12 of us right now. How many of us are going to be busy the next 10 days?
Not.
Sarlaj.
Hmm.
Okay, who's going to be there? That is better, I think.
I'll be here,
Dr. Mara.
but the weekends kind of a little bit hard for me, but I'll try to be as much as possible.
I too will be here till 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah,
Actually,
maybe you
the
can put it in
Navratra is
the
coming.
group. That you can
Navratri is
put the
coming.
dates and. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I just till this Amavasya, it is, we all can do, but as Navratra is coming, so the morning, especially the day 1, it is a bit difficult because of that puja. So if initial 1 day of Navratra, one can we can manage. Otherwise, what I am remembering, like we did chapter 2 quite a bit, and then we again came back because Dr. Brahmra was not there, and now it is the same thing happening. We wanted we wanted to read with you basically, from 16 onwards. We have gone again back.
Yeah.
So
just continuing, Dr. Savita, I think we don't want to. I mean, it's not whether we read it again and again. It's nothing.
yeah, that is fine. That is
not a
fine.
problem. But
No
just we don't
problem.
want to have interruption. If we are missing 1 or 2 days, it's fine. But at least some of us keep it rolling. It'd be good.
Yeah.
So if
We'll
you guys
share
can
in the
put
group.
in
Yeah.
in the group, please put the dates from where to where or which dates you're available. That way we can figure it out. One of us can be there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Please take it forward, and
Yeah.
so whoever's available will attend. And in case then and there, you people can decide, in case you're going to be busy during Navratri or so, if you want to give it a break, that's fine, or do on certain days that all of you are available. I will leave that to all of you, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll meet up tomorrow, and we'll take up Gita tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Jai Gurudev. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev. I'll play Gurudev's meditation.
We are here in August 2025 at one of our warehouses in Egypt, preparing to send.
Meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Except those parts of the body where you feel a tension, the other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here will lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the efforts. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently